Shego has a love-hate relationship with her brothers in the Kim Possible series, and the reason behind it is actually really interesting. So in this video, let's take a closer look at why she eventually walked away from the family superhero business and how her relationship with her brothers played a huge role in that decision. The biggest reason is simple: she just couldn't tolerate them anymore. Spending so much time working alongside her brothers eventually pushed her to her limit. She found them incredibly annoying, and after years of dealing with their behavior, she finally decided she had enough and wanted out. When we talk about her brothers, there is Shego, the oldest sibling and leader of Team Go, Migo, the brother with the ability to shrink, and the youngest members of the family, the Shego twins, who possess the ability to duplicate. On paper, they sound like a capable superhero team with a variety of powers, but in reality, their family dynamic was a complete mess. Shego may be the oldest brother and the team's leader, but despite possessing incredible super strength, he's painfully dim-witted. He constantly falls into obvious traps, misses things that should be easy to figure out, and spends most of his time talking in cheesy over-the-top superhero cliches. While he sees himself as a great leader, having to work with someone like that every day would quickly become exhausting, especially for someone with Shego's personality. Then there's Migo. His shrinking powers are useful, but his attitude creates a different problem. He's completely obsessed with himself, incredibly vain, and rarely thinks about what the rest of the team needs. His attention is usually focused on his own interests rather than helping the group function as a team. That kind of self-centered behavior only added more frustration to an already difficult family situation. And of course, there are the Shego twins. As the youngest members of the family, they contribute even more chaos to the group. Combined with Shego's cluelessness and Migo's massive ego, the entire team becomes difficult to manage. Instead of feeling like a well-organized superhero family, they often come across as a collection of personalities constantly creating headaches for one another. The only truly competent and rational member of the team was Shego. She was basically the anchor that held the entire group together. While her brothers constantly created problems for themselves, she was usually the one forced to clean up the mess. She had to keep everyone focused, make sure missions stayed on track, and repeatedly save her brothers from the consequences of their own stupidity. She was always the voice of reason, always the one expected to think ahead, and always the person who had to compensate for everyone else's mistakes. Carrying that burden day after day eventually wore her down. Over time, all of that frustration turned into bitterness and resentment. Instead of enjoying her life as a hero, she became exhausted by it. The constant struggle of dealing with her brothers pushed her to a point where she no longer wanted anything to do with that world. Eventually, she walked away from heroism entirely and embraced a life of villainy, making a choice that she had no interest in reversing. In fact, the series gives us a pretty strong example of how much she wanted to leave that part of her life behind. When Kim threatened to expose her heroic past to other people, Shego was genuinely terrified by the idea.
Because if you don't help, I'll tell the world that you used to be a good guy.
You wouldn't.
I've got a website and I'm not afraid to use it.
My reputation would be shot. Ugh.
Her reaction shows just how embarrassed she is about that chapter of her life. She completely rejects the image of herself as a former hero and clearly regrets being associated with it. But despite all the eye-rolling, the angry comments, the violent outbursts, and the constant complaints about her siblings, the series also makes it clear that Shego still has genuine affection for them deep down. Whenever her brothers are in real danger or genuinely need her help, she steps in. She may be annoyed by them almost every second they're around, and she may never openly admit how much they matter to her, but her actions speak for themselves.
I mean, really, you practically gave it to her.
Whatever.
Now that I know the whole story, I think you secretly wanted to lose.
What?
That's right. You wanted your brothers to get their powers back. You don't really have it in you to betray them.
Are you saying that I am going soft?
As a marshmallow.
That is what makes her relationship with her brothers so interesting. The frustration is real, the resentment is real, and her decision to leave the family behind is completely genuine. The bond between them never fully disappears. No matter how much they drive her crazy, she still cares about what happens to them. So in the end, Shego loves her brothers enough to make sure they're safe when it matters most. At the same time, She values her own sanity and the reputation she has built as an independent villain far too much to ever return to the life she left behind.